Yo, what is up, guys? It's super late. 10:48 is very late for me. I have been grinding, I've been working, I've been hustling, and I have this awesome video for you guys today that I had just felt compelled to make. I don't know if you need it or not right now, but one day you're gonna need this video and you're gonna be really happy that I freaking stayed up and made this for you. So you're welcome. I got you back. Now I'm going on a vacation tomorrow. So this is a part of my managing trip series. So oftentimes we're going on a trip. We don't know how to manage our fitness. We don't know how to manage our food, all of these things in combination. So what I'm doing here is I've created what's called this is part of the trip series, doing all inclusives. So if you're going on an all inclusive, this is probably the perfect video for you to watch. If you're going on vacation, you can use this and you can reference it. This formula does work other places as well, but we're going to use what's called the all inclusive eating formula for how you manage all inclusives and how you can make the most out of them without like gaining 20, 30 pounds and coming back super fat or overweight, right? So fat and overweight, you got me. Okay, it's late. I know my brain, my head's been pounding all day, but I wanted to make this video because of you guys. I really wanted to do it, and I'm going on it, so it's just like fresh in my mind. Let's get right into it. So I'm going to share my screen. I got a nice little pretty presentation for you guys because I know you guys love those presentations. Oh, this can go away. And this time I'm actually going to share it big and live. Okay, so let's do it big. Cool. Here we go. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. If you're watching this, by the way, and you're watching it live, that's really cool. Thanks for being up with me. Hashtag live for me. If you're watching this on the replay, just give me a hashtag replay. Okay. So Hustle's all-inclusive eating formula. Let's get right into it. Okay. So here's how you can fully enjoy an all-inclusive and not destroy your progress entirely. Okay, so check it out. So the first thing we're going to go over is like the trip formula. I'll make a separate video on this, like what kind of trip you're on, the purpose, etc. But I wanted to touch on it for this video because it's important in the concept of things. So trip, purpose, we're going to go over what an all-inclusive is, how we determine our level there, determine our targets there. The formula, why it does what it does, and why it works. Okay, so and some helpful tips. These helpful tips are really the main reason why you should watch this video, and you need to watch it to the end to get the main like key tip that I really have that makes all of this worthwhile. So trust me, I don't like pulling anyone's chain. That last tip will be the biggest breakthrough that you have, the biggest takeaway that I can guarantee it because it was a big one for me. So I am going to save that for the end because I think it's really important and it pulls everything together. So let's do it. Okay, so you're going on a trip, right? So you're going on a trip and you're figuring out what kind of trip you're on. So there's lots of different kinds of trips that you can go on. There's business trips, there's pleasure, there's family trips, there's other kinds of trips. There's plenty of them. Once again, I will address more of these style of trips that you're on and the purposes behind them in my trip series or the main trip video. But for this example, we're going on a pleasure trip and it is a vacation and therefore it's an all-inclusive. So we then need to determine like what our next level is, what the purpose of this trip is. So why are you going? You're going on all inclusive. You're spending this money. It's probably because it's a vacation, probably because you want pleasure, probably because you want to just chill out. You want to kick back a little bit, right? So these are a couple of questions that I'd like to ask. Like what level are you willing to commit to on this trip? What consequences of your actions are you willing to accept? What gains or progress are you looking to get out of this? What will you be okay with 3 months from now? And I often think if you just relate this to business, if I was going to take a vacation, I probably know that I'm probably going to take a dip in my business, right? I probably know that I'm probably going to take a dip or at least maintain or stay about the same. I'm not going to make a ton of progress. And that's normal. That's okay. That's acceptable, right? And sometimes you need a vacation. That's just what you're going to do. And you just need that break. And that's fine. That's cool. But you just got to determine, like, are you cool with the consequences? What consequences are you going to have? What level are you willing to commit to, right? If you're going to go on a vacation, are you going to work the whole time? You totally could, right? But it's just like, are you going to work half the day? And I have these at different points of time in my life. I've had different things. Like for business in particular, there's been vacations, trips that I've been on that I've worked 4 hours every day. My wedding week, I think I worked at least 2, 3 days. Just kind of up to you, right? Like you got to figure that out for you. Like what level are you willing to commit to? So I'm going to help you kind of walk through like what level you're going to hit. But the next point that you need to figure out is like, once you know what level, let's say you're like, hey, I know I'm going to not make as much progress. I'm just trying to mitigate damage and etc. Cool. If you're like, hey, I want to go full go, then I'm going to walk you through that too. But the biggest thing you need to understand is like, what's the target that you're going to hit? So this can help you figure out what level you're at, but what target are you going to hit? So if you watch my Nutrition 101 video, which should be uploaded in the next week or so here. But if you watch my Nutrition 101 video, I talk about a hierarchy. What is the hierarchy of food? What are you going to hit? Now, when you are out going on vacation, there's a couple of different hierarchies that you could follow, a target that you could hit. So if you had a bullseye, like which target are you going to hit? And listen, all targets make progress. Some are faster than others, some are slower than others. Just got to kind of pick like where you want to fall along in that target. You're going to get there. Like this is the biggest thing that I always say about the fitness journey is you're going to get there as long as you commit to it and never quit. As long as you do that, you're going to get there. Now, the question is how fast? Right? Good things come to those who wait, but only what's left behind by those who hustle. So if you hustle, you can make a lot further. So check it out. Okay. So the first thing is Nutrition 101. The second one is like, don't eat like a jerk. Okay. So the first one, don't eat like a jerk. This is the most simple thing you do. And how do you determine if you're eating like a jerk or not? Well, it's really simple. I would like to use the Thanksgiving analogy. If you are stuffed like it's Thanksgiving and you had to open up your belt, you probably ate like a jerk. If you are hungry, you probably didn't eat enough, right? You just want to kind of be in that mid-range, right? You don't want to be Thanksgiving stuff, but you also don't want to be starving and hungry, right? So kind of find that mid-range and don't eat like a jerk and do the best of your ability. That's okay. That's perfectly fine target to try to hit. The next one is tracking calories. Are you going to track your calories while you're there? Maybe you're going to not eat like a jerk, but you're also going to track your calories just to see how much do I actually consume while I'm gone. I don't have to hit any target. There's no like restriction, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to, I'm just going to track it just to kind of get an idea, to collect data, and I can make better decisions on this long term. That's cool. The next one is like, hey, maybe you got to get a calorie target from your coach that you're working with, or maybe you have a calorie target in mind. Maybe you and I have worked one out. Maybe you have come up with one, just used your KPI tracking sheet, and you're like, oh, these are about the calories you need to hit. I'm just going to hit calories while I'm there. Cool. A couple days you're over, a couple days you're under, a couple days you're about to hit. That's cool. That's all good. It's all good, right? You tracked your calories. That's perfectly fine target to hit. The next one's calories and protein. This is about 90% of the formula for fat loss and also about 90% of the formula for muscle gain. So maybe you're like, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to focus on calories and protein. Totally great idea. Fantastic idea. This is about, 90% of the way there. If you do this, you'll probably actually make progress while you're there. Just kind of something to think about. If you do full progress, you're going to make a ton of progress. Full macros, you're going to make a ton of progress while you're there. Is it going to be the best way you can approach the all-inclusive? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe we won't get as much out of it. Maybe you'll feel a little bit more restricted. But hey, if that's what you wanted to do and you wanted to make a ton of progress and you didn't want to take any dip whatsoever, then fine. That's cool, right? Food quality. Maybe the next one's like, hey, I'm going to hit macros. I'm going to do all of that. And I'm going to focus on high-quality nutrition. Cool. That's fine too. Might be a little harder when you're out at all-inclusive, but something you can think about. And then food timing, like, can you do food timing? I think food timing is a fairly easy one, but sometimes it can be difficult when you're on vacation. Maybe you sleep in more. Maybe you go to bed later. Food timing is the last part of the hierarchy, by the way, and this is why it's almost ordered in that specificity of what the hierarchy actually is. So this is kind of the importance of hierarchy. So watch the Nutrition 101 video so you can understand what hierarchy is and et cetera, all those things. But what target are you going to hit? Now, if you're not going to hit any of these targets, or you say, hey, I'm not going to eat like a jerk, I'm now going to walk you through what the all-inclusive eating formula is. This is the simplest formula ever. It's so easy to do. So easy. That's why I love it. It's simple. Basically, here's the formula. You're going to do 2 meals that are just protein and veggie. So you're going to grab some sort of lean protein and veggie. Let's say you find like some steak out there, and then you grab some vegetables. You make yourself a nice little salad. You eat that, right? Protein and veggie. Done. Super simple meal. Cool. Then you're going to do 2 meals like that. And then 1 meal is going to be your fun meal, right? Your protein, your fats, your carbs, your veggie. Maybe you have some cake with it. Maybe you get some bread rolls with it. Maybe you have like, a different kind of protein, whatever it is. You just kind of mix it all up. You have all that fun meal, right? This is the simplest, easiest way to do it. Now, the all-inclusive eating formula. What's protein? So I always like to make sure I keep this concise. If you're vegetarian or vegan, if you're vegetarian, obviously, tofu, if you're vegan, I think that applies as well. Eggs, though, and things of that sort. If you're vegetarian, you kind of already know usually what has protein. If you don't, feel free to just shoot me a message. I'll walk you through it. But for the most part, you want to stick to meat proteins. It doesn't matter what kind. You kind of just want to get some sort of meat or protein in, because any protein is good protein while you're out and away. Same thing with your vegetarian and vegans. Any protein is good protein while you're out and away. And the veggies, try to stick to like green and leafy, but really any kind will roll for this formula. So any kind, just try to get more veggies in. Okay. It's very, very, very simple. You can obviously see, you're like, holy crap, Prince, there's no way this is simple. It is this simple. And I'm going to walk you through why it's so simple. So if you need a good food list and you don't really know great proteins or veggies, et cetera, just literally shoot me a message. I'll send you a list. But the all-inclusive eating formula. All right. So then you have these, protein and meat, veggie meals. You do that. You do 2 of those. And then you have your fun meal. Here's the cool part about the fun meal. I learned this from a friend of mine a long time ago, who's been a long time bodybuilder. He was my coach for a long time. I learned this from Dr. Bakashi. But this formula, you have a fun meal. The fun meal could be your breakfast, it could be your lunch, it could be your dinner. And the way that I would do this if I was approaching an all-inclusive is, let's say I got there the first day. Well, maybe breakfast is my fun meal, right? Maybe breakfast is my fun meal. And then lunch and dinner, I'm going to go to steakhouse at dinner. So that's fairly easy. I'm going to do steak and veggies, right? Cool. Fantastic. So breakfast is my fun meal the first day. Second day, I know I'm going to go lunch. I booked out a restaurant at the resort. Cool. Breakfast, now I'm going to do protein, veggie. Lunch, I'm going to have my fun meal. And then dinner, I'm going to, have the same thing. I'm going to do protein, veggie. Cool. And the next day, I'm going to do dinner as my fun meal. The cool part to this is you can really pick any meal you want. It could be breakfast 2 days in a row. It could be however you want to do it. Maybe you check out the resort and you're like, I love dinner out. I don't really care that much for breakfast. I don't really care that much for lunch. That's fine. You can switch this up based on your plans. That's the beauty of it. The fun meal can be any meal. Just pick a meal and stick to it. Cool. All right. So why does this work? all this does really is it contains the amount of calories you intake without having to track. That's kind of the beauty. No pulling out MyFitnessPal, no having to worry about it. Well, remember, you're welcome to do that if that's what you picked as your target, but you don't have to. That's kind of the nice part. You don't have to. And it confirms you're going to get in more protein. If you focus on getting protein in every meal, guess what? You're going to get in proper amounts of protein, which is going to regulate your thermogenesis, which means you're going to burn more calories. Now, I don't mean to seem crazy, but basically, if you eat more protein, it burns more calories literally to burn the protein, which is kind of cool, which means that therefore you're going to burn more calories and means you're going to eat less caloric dense food, which protein is like 4 calories per gram. And it just makes sure that you're going to get it in. So you're going to maintain more muscle mass. So you're in a positive mindset already just with protein. The next is it mitigates damage. You're still going to gain some weight. That's pretty normal. That's fine. If you go in all inclusive and you gain some weight, I mean, I'd be pretty impressed if you didn't. It's really cool if you don't, but you might gain some weight. You may still get a little bit of bloat. If you follow this even perfectly, it doesn't guarantee that you won't get like, some bloat and some weight gain, et cetera. All this really does is it mitigates damage. It prevents a major weight gain. Okay. And this is really important. So now, we've went over this formula. I want to give you the helpful tips. And once again, I told you at the beginning that the helpful tips are really what pull this all together. The formula is simple, but the tips, the mindset, the perspective that you have on it is going to be key. So let's go back into it, okay? So what are some helpful tips? So now, if you are traveling, if you wear a Fitbit tracker or you wear some sort of fitness or step tracker, it's really great to get in 10K plus steps. The more steps you get in, the better. Why? Once again, higher activity means higher caloric burn. And typically when you're on vacation, it means you have, you don't have all the work and all the shit that you usually do. So get up, get moving, move your body, all right? This is what your body needs, what your body wants. You want to come back feeling great? Don't fucking lay around the whole time. Get up, move around a little bit. It will make you feel better and you'll come back to life better too. And you might even carry that momentum into your workouts and into your work life. So 10K plus steps, the more, the better. Okay. If you can do that, that's fantastic. So I would highly recommend you do that. Once again, it's going to burn more calories. More calories burned means that you can eat more and it still mitigates the damage, right? So keep that in mind. Working out. This is a simple one. This will help burn more calories. Once again, it'll keep some muscle around if you lift some weights. More muscle, burn more calories. Workout, burn more calories, right? This is an equation that we're really doing. And we just don't need to track it. We just want to do some simple things to keep it going. But I love working on a vacay. Why? Because there's no pressure of time. I'm not pressed. I don't have to wake up at 4 a.m. I don't have to think, oh my God, I didn't get my workout in. Like, I just keep it fun. So I have some clients that keep their workouts on their calendar and just like, oh, they try to hit some if they feel good about it. Great. Me, I love vacay workouts. It's like my favorite. I'm super chill. I take longer. I fucking like cruise through the workout. So you pick, but I would definitely recommend working out. This is a great tip. The next one's bring protein powder. So if you take protein powder, you take like 2 scoops in the morning, 25 grams a pop, you're going to get like 50 grams of protein in. That's pretty good. So if you got like 100 to 100, even 50, that's really, really, really good while you're on vacay. So bring protein powder, take 2 scoops in the AM, like right when you wake up. And then you don't have to think about it so much throughout the day. Maybe you don't want to eat so much meat at each meal. You want to eat a little bit more carbohydrate. That's totally fine. This for me would allow me to basically have 2 more fun meals or the ability to drink, right? It's a little bit of an or, but I mean, you're still going to drink probably, but like you could drink a little bit more maybe. I personally like this protein powder one and I still aim to have protein every meal. So I just get a little bit more. Once again, more protein, more thermogenesis, more calories. You kind of get the point, right? So I definitely like that idea. This is a really easy one. I might recommend that for some of you guys. The next one is like, try to stay away from super sugary drinks. If you're going to drink, but like try to stay away from super sugary drinks. Do it the same way you would do a fun meal. Maybe have 1 sugary drink a day if you are going to do that. If that's your thing, and then kind of switch to liquor after that or vice versa, however you feel is best. Listen, everyone's an adult. You kind of do things your own way. Spread out the drinks as much as possible. Try to savor them. That's always a good idea. There's always this whole thing like drink clear, drink dark, like, they're both calories. So it doesn't really matter that much. But once again, like the less you drink, the less calories that come in, and the more you move, the more calories you burn, the better off you are. So if you drink liquor and you can spread it out longer, therefore you will take in less calories and still get the same buzz. So kind of keeping that in mind. And once again, I'm going and I'm going to drink, and maybe you don't have to drink every day. Maybe there's like Tuesday, you go there and you drink, and maybe Wednesday is a day off from drinking. And maybe Thursday you're going to drink again. And maybe Friday, you can always pick things like that too. You don't have to drink every single day, right? This is also key. This is a big social pressure to like, you have to drink every day. You have to do this, just because you're on all inclusive and you paid for all the drinks doesn't mean you have to drink every day. Take your pick when you want to, but this is a pretty good tip. The next one is get some sleep. Actually, sleeping burns calories. So just keep that in mind. If you actually get sleep, you actually recover really well. You wake up with more energy. You'll probably move more throughout the day. You'll burn more fat while you sleep. All good things. Maybe you don't get that much sleep while you're out. Getting sleep is great on vacation. I know everyone's really excited. They want to go. They want to do some, what do they call it? Excursions, etc. But getting some sleep can be really, 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 really helpful. So I would highly recommend that you at least get 8 hours of sleep when you're on vacay. Listen, man, life's crazy. I know you're on vacation. I gotta try to make the most of it, but sometimes getting the most of it is like taking care of yourself. So self-care is sexy. All right. And this is the most important part. This is going to bring it all together. All right. You guys ready? Let's do this. Okay. So the next one is like, don't stress out about any of this. All right. I know I just went over a bunch of tips. I walked you through all this stuff. You're going to watch this video again. You're going to write down notes, and that's cool. But like, don't stress out about it. What's the whole reason I'm doing this? The whole reason I'm doing this is for just to create more awareness and mitigate damage. That's really all it is. So make you think one more time before you do something. And that's really key. Like, listen, I'm going all inclusive. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have a good time, but am I going to be aware of some things while I do it? Am I going to try to mitigate damage? Absolutely. And is that going to be good for me? 100% is going to be good for me. Am I going to stress out about it? No. No, I'm not. If I screw up, am I going to stress out? No, I'm just going to get back to normal. I might be a little bit more aware. I'm like, I had a little bit more to drink last night. Maybe I'll chill out a little bit today. I had a little bit more to eat tonight. Maybe I eat a little less today. Feel it out, right? Feel that out. Build that like kind of self-awareness part of this. That's the whole reason why we're doing this. We're trying to mitigate damage. It's not about not having any fun. It's just by making sure it doesn't totally screw us over. All right. Now, here's my next thought. It's like, if you paid for an all-inclusive, enjoy it. You know, this is why we do this thing consistently. This is why fitness is supposed to be consistent, because you didn't just put months of work in to have 1 week destroy it. It won't destroy it, right? We put in 6 months of work, 5 months of work, a year of work, whatever. And 1 week's going to be great for it. In fact, you're going to come back more refreshed. You're going to have a diet break. It's going to be great. You're going to do fantastic. Right? 1 week won't destroy it. So keep that in mind. 1 week doesn't make or break you, whether it's good or bad, both ways. So keep that in mind. Okay. And for me, it's definitely not. I'm fully going to enjoy this. I'm going to have a good time. And the whole reason why we do this thing is so that we can look sexy on the beach and eat food and get the best of both worlds. So if anything, this should motivate you. If you're not going all inclusive and you're watching this, and this should motivate you to do even better with this. So the next time you go to an all inclusive, you can look good, feel good, and not have any guilt when you're eating, and not have any guilt when you have your shirt off. That's kind of my whole life goal. So not have guilt and not have regret. Feel pretty good? We agree? Fantastic. All right. So hopefully that brings some things together for you guys. And something that I like to do, this is kind of really interesting that I thought about this recently too, is like something that I often think about is like, will I regret not eating and gorging as much as possible 5, 10, 15 years from now? Will I be on my deathbed thinking I should have eaten more at that all-inclusive? Probably not. So as much as you're going on all-inclusive, just to make sure you're taking care of yourself, have fun, enjoy the foods. Just remember, like, enjoying the food doesn't always mean eating like a jerk. Like, you're not going to sit there on your deathbed. And people are like, you don't want to have regrets when you're on your deathbed. So eat, have fun now. I'm like, yes, eat, have fun now. But also on your deathbed, you're not going to be like, I should have eaten one more piece of cake at the all-inclusive. I fucked up. No, you didn't. You know what I mean? Like, chill out. You'll be fine. So hopefully this is helpful to you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully you enjoyed my antics and my staying awake. Once again, watch this video. I will be putting out more and more as we go on. If you like this video, if you got a good takeaway, if you are not going on vacation, you still watch and you're like, hey, this was really helpful, give me the right mindset. This is exactly like all inclusives, fun time, beach time. This is exactly why we put in the work, right? This is why we look good. This is why we do it, so we can eat, so we can be the guy that everyone envies. Right. That's all right. I'm just messing around, but hope you guys have a great night. Keep crushing it. If you have any questions or comments, whatever, please make sure you drop them in the comments below and I will answer them. If you really want me to see it, make sure you tag me. Otherwise, your boy Prince out.